What do tigers dream of when they have a little tiger's dream? Do they dream of mauling zebras or Halle Berry in a Catwoman suit? Ready? Don't you worry, you pretty tiger head. We're gonna get you back to Tyson in a cozy tiger bed. Then we're gonna find a best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend Doug. Ready? Doug, 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 Dougie, Dougie, Doug, Doug. And if he gets murdered by crystal meth reapers, then we're shit out of luck. Did you like that? Did you like that start of the podcast? Our very own Daniel Dargan podcast jingle. That's actually from The Hangover. What time is it? It is 2 o'clock on 2:26 on a Monday. We're firing all cylinders, baby. Listen, I don't know if you can see what I'm wearing right now. I'm actually wearing clothes for once, believe it or not. I just went to the back door and the postman has dropped off a parcel. I think, oh, let me have a peek. It's usually Eleanor Dargan. My mum orders everything. It must be a white girl thing. They just can't go a day without ordering things. And I know, listen, you white girls, you listen to this. Lisa Rushy, you listen. I'm thinking of you, mate. You've definitely got orders coming in on the regular. It's usually my mum, and I don't even know what she buys half the time. But it says Daniel Dargan. I think, don't mind if I do. Thank you, Mr. Postman. Smell you never. Open up, and I haven't ordered anything, and it's a bulky parcel. And I'm thinking, have I got autism? Dementia is probably the better one. Yes, definitely dementia. Probably a bit of autism too. But anyway, I open this, and it's from the Beaumont Club, which is, he's actually from Northern Ireland, and he has a clothing brand, and it's actually fire. I know when people say these things on social media, I bear in mind, I am not getting paid for this. It is not an ad. I have no affiliates with anything. I never have. But I actually was blown away. It was so nice. Is this what influence it is? Sign me up. Say less. Code Daniel. No, he sent it out, and I'm actually blown away with number one, the quality of it, but it's actually just so fresh. Like, I was all biz. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I'm thinking, mate, I could get used to this life. Maybe I'm not milking the Instagram enough. But anyway, that's where we're at. Hold on, I actually, albeit I do love the kid. I like doing a podcast with no t-shirt on, so that's how we're gonna run it. That's what we're gonna do it. Bowman Club, big love, appreciate the threads. But it is warm and we're getting shredded, baby. So let's get after it. I also have there's a couple of videos I posted on Instagram recently. Some of the comments are good. Some of the comments are very good. I'm getting roasted. I'm getting flamed a lot. So I posted a video. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you may be seeing that I cut my head, or if you're actually watching this podcast, that I've sliced above my eye. It's actually my eyebrow. I don't know. Listen, I could actually get used to this. I think it looks pretty cool. You probably think otherwise, but shut the fuck up. And I went for a dip the other day. I flew home from London. I wanted to film videos. Thought, great. Bloody Bridge, it's going to be really cloudy, so let me go to the waterfall. Great. I always bring shoes because I go in, it's really slippy, so I brought shoes. This time, I forgot them. Get into the waterfall, but I start the video, and I'm freaking giving it the big one. I'm saying, we're going to war. I literally touched the first rock and gone. Completely gone. I was eating rock within zero point 0.2 seconds. The fact that I had so much chest going into that, what an intro, what a build up. I thought I was the man. I was king of the waterfall. And listen, life has a way of showing you who's the real boss. And to that day, it was not me. I think God just seen my head was getting a bit too big for myself. Going into the cold water, he doesn't find it cold anymore. He doesn't think it's a challenge, and he's making a dick out of me. There you go, mate. Nice one. How do you like apples? So there we go. There was a guy, he came down afterwards. He's like, you okay, you okay? And I was filming. I thought, listen, I seen there was blood on my face. I'm thinking, this is gonna look good for videos. I came down to film. We're getting videos. I'm not being a bitch. So I was filming. This guy's like, you okay, you okay? I think he was just concerned I was concussed. But anyway, we live to tell the tale. We live to tell the tale. And then we hit Bloody Bridge yesterday, and I'm gonna read out some of these comments. So I Let me see. So I also posted one of me doing the William Wallace impression, right? You know, the fight and you may die, run and you'll live at least a while. The you'll never take our freedom, that one, right? Because, you know, I'm half Scottish. I am a little bit, I have an ethnic cocktail within me. I'm a little bit, that's where the swarthy genes come, the west of Scotland. I have got absolutely roasted in some of these comments, which I'm going to read some of them out to you. A lot of them are actually nice, but Torqued Freedom Boner Gang. Don't know what that means. If Braveheart and Brokeback Mountain had a kid, I didn't know what Brokeback Mountain was until I looked it up, and apparently it's two gay dudes bumming each other in the mountains. So yeah, I guess you're right. I love it the way in today's day and age, if they see two dudes together doing anything, everyone just assumes they're bumming each other. And you know what? I just say, yes, mate, that's exactly what's going on. We just went up to the mountains to bomb each other. Right, okay, let me see. And people always have to make it political. I could be talking about anything. I could be talking, I'm not even going to say that on, but I could be talking about anything and someone will make it political. Iran to USA to end Israel. Shut up, mate. And they both kissed happily ever after. Saw this yesterday. I haven't stopped cringing since. What a knob goblin. And I just replied, me too, bro, fell as a joke. Quite a lot of people saying with steroid accusations, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. Let's see if there's any more, and then we'll move on. Some guy, I don't know if you can see this, some guy put a gif in of two guys in Y-fronts going into toilet cubicles together. So there we go. Anyway, we'll crack on. We men love this stuff. When's the last time you saw a woman doing the Rocky theme? There you go, mate. There you go. But some of the comments are quite funny. And listen, I think that's very reflective of the state of the world right now. That people make everything political. I put up a video and I thought it was a decent video. And I got like 2,000 people unfollow me for it. It was me. The video went. Charlie Kirk's assassination was 4 months ago. Have you thought of him since you woke up this morning? No. So what makes you people think you're thinking? What makes you think people are thinking about you? They're not. People are too worried about what's going on in their own lives to think about your mistakes. So post a video, ask the girl out, start the business, do what you want to do in life, and only you, because we do only go this way once. And if you live it right, once is enough. It was something along the lines of that, which I think is quite a nice sentiment. I think it's nice, a reminder that people die, that something which is as notable as Charlie Kirk's assassination, people are talking about it for weeks. It's at the top of people's mind, and eventually it withers away, and people just move on. And that's what I want you to. I want you to remember that today's newspaper is tomorrow's chip shop wrapper. The world is going to move on. The world keeps spinning, and the sun's going to rise in the morning. It's going to set in the evening, and whether you want to put yourself out there, it's down to you. But you can't let judgment or fear of failure or people's opinions hold you back. Because that's all they are. Opinions. None of it is fact. And you've heard people say that to you. You've heard people say that, oh, if someone said you made fun of your blue hair, you wouldn't take it to offence because you don't have blue hair. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, mate. I think that's the idea, the sentiment of that is nice, but in reality, it's like, right, okay, obviously there are certain things which people are insecure about, but a reminder, people say they won't judge you. People absolutely will judge you. It is so normal for people to judge. That's how we are as human beings. They will judge you, but they will also forget. You know, like people have definitely judged me before, but they've forgot about it. And the only people in life that suffer, the only people that deal with the ramifications of not putting themselves out there, of not taking a chance, it's you. So don't hold back for people that won't be at the wake, they won't be at the funeral, my friend. And I wrote this down. Say, look, I'm getting good, baby. Look, I'm looking after you. I'm writing things down now before a podcast. Okay, so this is how to get behind in your 20s. If you were going to get behind, this is what you were going to do. Drink 2 or more times a week. Don't train in any way. Hang out with people with no goals. Smoke weed. Scroll for more than 2 hours a day. Don't ever travel and see the world. Make fun of others for trying and never put yourself out there. Complain about your mental health and physical health and do nothing about it. Don't expose yourself to new ideas from books or podcasts, and never invest in yourself. That is a clear blueprint that if you didn't want to go anywhere in your 20s, that's what you would do. And I feel like there's a lot of advice, there's a lot of to and fro advice online. It's like, lock in, these are the years where you need to get ahead and where you need to double down and go monk mode. And then there's other side of it where they're saying, you should enjoy yourself, you should travel more. It's not black and white. You can do both. Your life operates in seasons, as I've said. Grind now, and then in the summer enjoy the fruits of your labor, or whatever way around you want to do it. That's what I tend to usually do. I will push hard up until, say, July, and then July, August I will just take my foot off the gas and I'll just enjoy myself, whether that's going away on holidays, having a few drinks. That's how I operate. And I feel like people assume that to make progress you have to make it miserable. You don't. Progress does not have to mean misery. It's also what way you look at it too. I spoke to one of our guys earlier today, and he was talking about dieting, and he said, I think I'm actually gonna have to exercise some level of self-discipline now. And I says, what? This is, of course, mate. You're dieting. Of course you're gonna be self-disciplined. We're talking about hunger. Of course, there's certain things that you can do to mitigate your hunger. You can go with high volume foods. You can go with pushing your first meal back. You can go with ensuring that, I would get more fizzy drinks in. You could, one second, someone's just, oh, that was a nice message someone just sent me. It was actually Brian. You could focus on nailing your sleep so that your hunger improves. There's so many things that you could do. But it comes to a certain stage when you're dieting, you need to suck it up and face hunger and realize that is actually you getting leaner. And what I tell myself when I'm dieting, like, if you're dieting this year, here's what you need to remind yourself of. I have a luxury where I can get into shape. Imagine having such little worries in life that one of your priorities is to drop body fat, is to get into shape. I sometimes think about that concept that there are kids out there in Africa who would do anything for food. Anything. Let alone healthy, clean food that you have access to. Imagine explaining the concept to them that there's people in parts of the world where they have so much food that they actually want to limit themselves as to how much they can eat. And they're doing it by choice. That's probably crazy to them. But you get that choice, you get that luxury. And it's something you got to remind yourself of often. Doing hard shit is a luxury. Pressure is privilege. I never understood that until I actually deeped it. Pressure is privilege. There's another guy at our house dropping parcels off. Oh, that's actually my parcel. There we go, from Amazon. And what I said there about how to get behind in your 20s, it's simple stuff. It's not crazy. I'm telling you that if you want to really change your life, I'm telling you, you do this, just this. You challenge your internal dialogue so that you're extremely positive and abundant. You're not self-deprecating and operating from scarcity. I can't, my life sucks, it's hard. If that's all you tell yourself, or if you complain about the weather, that's what your life will be, my friend, but not me and you, right? You have to wake up in the morning, every single morning. I get into the car, into the Tessie, shout out Elon. I heat the car, drive down at 6:10 in the morning, down to the Spar. I get my flat white, I sit in the car, I go and get another flat white. I sit in the car and I'm doing some voice notes back and forth with my clients, and I put on, it's like a Zen sound. It's like a Zen song. The place is actually called Zen Garden. I love it. And I will say, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. 10 times. I can achieve anything in life that I want 10 times. And I will hit 500,000 followers on Instagram. Call me cringy, don't care. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I want. And that's what's going to happen. That's the goal I've set for this year. And that's what's going to happen. But you have to tell yourself these things. Like, I have that in front of me, right? It says, neuroscience shows up to 95% of your thoughts run on autopilot through subconscious patterns. If you rewire them, everything will change. And I always talk to you about patterns and the stories that you tell ourselves and how important they are, that's all they are. They're just stories and they're all bullshit. Your core beliefs, the ones driving most of your daily emotions, are usually formed before the age of 7. And that's why a lot of adults struggles, they come from childhood wiring. And then you might think, oh, well, that's something you can't control. Yes, but it comes to a certain stage where you have to realize what I went through when I was younger. I was a kid. I'm not an adult. And no matter what happens to you in your life, you got to take responsibility for it. Never, albeit, yes, I have a story, my mental health was in a bad place. Never do I have I haven't a friggin' rags to riches story. I haven't got that. And I know some people do. I don't claim to have been homeless. I never claimed that. And my parents, they would have told us loads of positive things. But if you did have something in your life when you were younger, which it impacted you in a negative way, that might be the case. It might not have been your fault, but it's your responsibility to do something about it. And that might be your family didn't focus on fitness, so you grew up out of shape. Roger that. Let me do something about it. And if you don't know, find somebody that does, my friend. Find somebody that does. And do you know what I've been thinking recently? It is cool to try. It's cool to try. It's cool to go all in and actually make effort. I hate this trend of trying to be, of aura. People talking about aura, mysterious aura, and being nonchalant. Where did that come from? People, that is just people hiding away from who they truly are to look cool. I'm so okay with never being cool. I do not want to be cool, and if being cool means not putting yourself out there, like I agree. Like, I'm a cringe merchant, but like, I guarantee most people, if they're in a relationship, how they get on with their partner, they're frigging goofballs. They just say the maddest shit, and that's probably cringe, but that's the real you. So show who you actually are in your life day to day. I'm not talking about social media. I talk about day to day. Be exactly who you are, and see if people don't like you. 2 words: fuck them. But that's what makes you. That's your unique selling point. That's why people love you, not because you're cool or you're mysterious. Fuck that. 2026 is the year of trying, the year of going all in, my friend. Gee, that eye is nasty. And one of our girls, Shannon, she lives out in Dubai. She's top G. She is just an absolute laugh. She said to me today that she was going to put a post into our Facebook group, our client Facebook group, and she says, I was going to do something motivational. I was going to do some motivational shit, but it's cringe. Fuck cringe. Be cringy. I am the king of cringe. And see, if I wasn't cringy, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I wouldn't have the pleasure of talking to you on a Monday at 2:44 in the afternoon, and I'm gonna go train in the gym after, and then I'm gonna have the crack with one of our boys afterwards. Like, that would never have happened if I wasn't cringe. And I just think, if you accepted that you were gonna be judged and you put yourself out there, maybe that's asking the girl out that walks past you in the street. Do you know when you get that thought, oh, she's pretty, and then you don't do it? You see the pretty girl in the cafe, and you think, oh, I'd love to go up and talk to her. And then your brain starts to convince you, nah, she's not actually my type. Nah, do you know what? She's probably busy. Nah, do you know what? I'm not feeling it today. I'm not feeling that confident today. Your brain will start to conjure up stories and ideas that will make you comfortable. So whether it's asking a girl out, whether it's posting videos, whether it's starting a business, who cares? Who cares what people say? You know, I've said this before in one of our previous podcasts. Owen McGinn. Owen is like me, king of cringe, but he doesn't care. And his social media has now blown up. I started coaching him it was 2 years ago. It was on like 10, it was on like 2k followers. But he's now, I checked it today, it's like 150,000 and has built a successful business off the back of it. That's being cringe. He's had food thrown at him. He's had people saying really horrible things to him. But you know who has the last laugh? Him. And you know who's going to be sitting somewhere in 30, 40 years time saying, damn, wish I tried more. Do you know those guys you speak to? Do you remember when you were a kid and you spoke to some people and they said, oh, just try more. I wish I tried more in school. Never want to be that guy. And see if you didn't try in school, because I didn't. I was an absolute degen. We live in a day and age where you don't have to have qualifications to make money. You don't have to have qualifications to succeed. And you never have had to, but it's never been easier now. And now is like a gold rush. Now is Bitcoin 2017. This is the time to put yourself out there. And if it's a business you want to start, post a video. If it's a fitness journey, post the video. You don't know what can come off this. And I know, like, I'm not a guy that sells like a social media program. I'm telling you, because I know that every single one of you has something inside of you which people want to watch, people want to listen to, and there's people that people would listen to you all day long. People, if you have something to sell, people would buy it. I mean that. Oh, baby. That water is just slapping. It's slapping beyond belief. I'll tell you that for free. Someone I seen someone on Instagram yesterday, and it was, would you date me? It was like a quotation mark. It was this guy posted it. It was a quotation mark. And it said, would you date me if I was fat? And he says no. And I actually rate that. I rate that. It's never about, this is a conversation I've had before with partners, and I'd said, like, nah, it's not about someone being fat. Like, if you start going with a partner and she ends up putting on loads of weight, it's not about them putting on the weight. It's about them not having the respect for themselves. It's about their values. It's about, say, the work ethic, their value of being healthy, their value of looking after themselves. Like, that's really important, and it's important to me. And that's I think people get that wrong. That just whatever you value in a relationship might be very different to me. Like, for me, I value hard work ethic. That is really important to me. And see, if I don't see that, it's the most unattractive thing to me of all time. And the same way that someone might, I don't know, someone might value, I'm trying to think of something that's like opposite of what I do. Someone might think what I do is too extreme. Someone that loves the gym so much, somebody that is serious about things, and that, I mean, I have a laugh as much as anybody, but I'm just trying to think of how I would not match anyone, how I would not match anyone, how I could not be anyone's type. Gosh. And you know what? On that as well, I joke, but I'm also deadly serious. People say you love yourself. You love yourself? Is that a problem? What am I meant to do? Hate myself? Oh, that makes it okay? Oh, that makes it normal. Yes, because we have to hate ourselves. It's actually, no, you have to self-deprecate and you have to hate yourself. That's cool, right? Because it's not cool to look, there we go. Shut up, mate. You have to love who you are. You have to look in the mirror. And it's not vain to be able to look in the mirror and think, I'm really, really proud of who I am and what I've done and how I look and how I feel. That is fantastic. And I think that's what I think everybody should strive towards. Because when you are that person, you can live the best life possible. Like, I've gone on holidays before. Let me try and think back to a holiday where I wasn't happy. Yeah, like, I remember I was in Thailand when I was 20, in 2017, and like I was just skinny fat, and I was always scared to take my top off at the beach. Always would have wore like an overshirt. And I never wanted to feel like that again. And the reality is, if there's enough pain, you'll do anything. So if you're listening to this podcast and you keep saying that I want to get in shape and you haven't been doing it, harsh reality, my friend, you haven't wanted to get in shape enough. You haven't got enough pain. And there's nothing I can do for you there. Now, there are certain things which I could say, yes, you could think about all the times that all the pain that this current behavior has cost you, and you can think about the pleasure of this new behavior, but ultimately, it comes down to, do you want it bad enough? And if you really want to, you wouldn't even need to think about that. But that was from Tony Robbins, and there's also Tony Robbins. He also talks about the only 3 decisions that you need to make in your life. Sorry, the 3 decisions that will determine the outcome of your life. And without the third one, obviously, none of this works. So listen up, baby. So the first one is what you focus on. Do you focus on, well, he says you don't experience life. You experience the life you focus on. Do you focus on what's going right or what's going wrong? Do you focus on what's missing, or do you focus on what you have? And see if you're always focusing on what's missing and what's going bad, you're always going to feel behind. You're always going to want more, no matter how much money you make. So what you focus on, you feel. So important. Number 2, the meaning you give to things. See, your life does not happen to you. Your life is what you decide happens to you. It's your perspective. Your relationship breaking up, is that failure or is that feedback? Maybe a better example would be a diet, right? Your diet, you end up not getting the result that you wanted. Is it failure? Did you really fail? Or is it just feedback of what you need to do next time, what you need to improve on, what you need to not do? Perspective. That breakup, is it the end or is it a turning point? You decide. You control the narrative. And the same way that when I go down to the shop on a Monday morning and somebody tells me that weather's miserable out there, it's such a shit day, I hate Januaries, I'll say, what a day to be alive. Great day to be above ground. Buzzing to hit it hard this week. Same day, same circumstance, 2 very different outcomes. Your perspective is everything. And you can control it, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. Don't forget it. And it's something you have to practice. I have little post-it notes in my room, and it says, what went well today? What are you grateful for? And you have to ask yourself those questions. And number 3, it's what you do. It's not about you knowing what to do, because most of the time people know what to do. Most of the time people know how to get in shape. They know what to do at the gym. They know they need to eat less food. They know they need to move more. And if they wanted it bad enough, they would do it. It's not about knowing what to do. It's about doing what you know. It's about action. It's about doing it. It's about pulling your sleeves up and doing the boring shit day in, day out. That's what it's about. For example, I didn't want to go on that walk pad. I do DMs in the morning with our guys. I didn't want to go on the walk pad. I had a call as well. I could. It's so much more comfortable sitting down in the seat. I could swing back. I could chill, but I want to get later, so I'm hitting that walk pad. It's the uncomfortable decision, but it's the decision that's aligned with where I want to go. You can't think your way to a dream life. With more podcasts, with this one you can. With more podcasts, more motivational reels, you can't dream your way to that life. You have to act. And it's like listening to this podcast. This podcast is useful. Is completely use. It is useful, but it is useless to you if you listen and you do not act. If you listen to this podcast and then you never actually get to the gym, you never actually change what you're doing day to day, you never put yourself out there. You never ask the girl. You never do any of these things. You're wasting your time. And so many people mentally masturbate. And they know all the quotes. They know all the sayings, all the frameworks. But they don't do. And that's sad. That's sad. Because at the end of the day, it's simple. Would that guy that you look up to be drinking every weekend? No. Would that guy that you look up to be hitting snooze in the morning? He wouldn't. Would that guy that you look up to skip a gym session and then feel sorry for himself that he's not in shape? No. So you can't expect to be that guy and then act the complete opposite way. And that's the reality of it, my friend. You act like that person, you will become them pretty freaking soon. I'm actually just looking at my notes on Instagram to see if I actually wrote anything down here. No. I'm so much better at talking when I don't have anything written down, because I feel like when you have some things written down, you constantly cast your mind back to your computer to see, did I miss anything? I prefer just free balling it. So many of you laughed at the story of the paedophile in the cinema. And if you haven't heard, go back and listen to it. I did actually laugh about it. But anyway, we live to tell the tale after cracking our head at the weekend. Plan of action in the coming week. More videos, more freaking videos, my friend. I am pumping them out. And do you know what? Cutting out alcohol has actually been huge for me. It's really, really important. It's been, I don't know what it is. I don't know why this is, and I haven't actually figured it out. When I enter an environment like a bar and I have an option to drink and I choose not to, I feel quite uptight. But when I enter a bar and I've said to myself, I'm not going to be drinking for X amount of time, I feel so confident. Like, I feel so confident in a bar environment when I've just decided that I'm going to be sober for an X period of time. Like, for the next, I said I'm going to be sober for the next year, and I can flourish. I don't know what it is. I haven't been able to figure that one out. So anyone listening, you have any ideas, you let me know. But anyway, that'll do it for today's potty. Was in London last week, got back, and don't get me wrong, I had a great week, but it's nice being home. I had a really, really good week. There's nothing about just getting an Airbnb and just locking in, wake up, steps, train, obviously getting the work done first, and just banging work. That is actually makes me so happy. It's something that I need to work on, because I feel like this is my happy place. See, when I sit in this seat and I have my headphones on, I have some Zen music. I turn all the lights off in this room, and there's like a little tiny, it's like a stick Christmas tree, and they're just tiny wee orange LEDs. The room is nice and ambient. I will sit here all day and not speak to anyone. I absolutely adore it. So yeah, there we go. I don't know how I got onto that, but what I was going to say earlier is, if you wanted to change your life in 3 months, I was saying that if you challenge your internal dialogue and your self-talk, and you were more positive, you were abundant, you were not scarcity thinking, you were not self-deprecating. If you trained like 3 times a week, if you walk like an hour a day, if you ate mostly 80% whole foods, if you hit your protein often enough, you spent time with people that made you laugh, you would get so far ahead. You'd be a completely different human being. I always used to think that it was going to take crazy action to change my life, but it was just the simple shit done right. It was just the simple stuff. So, appreciate you for listening, as always. Can you hear that? No. Anyway, appreciate you for listening, as always. We're getting Shreddy Krueger, and I'm going to love you and leave you and go hit a push session, baby. I'm going to shove 2 bagels with jam and some cereal up my ass. Happy Monday.